Head of Department for Communication Studies at the Ghana Institute of Journalism, Dr. Ebo Afful, has suggested the National Media Commission should be responsible for the issuance of licenses to radio and television stations in the country and not the National Communication Authority. For him, the executives on the board of the NCA are appointed by the government, which makes their work partial. He said this in an open forum organized by CHRAJ dubbed Re-Examining Freedom of Expression, Ethics and Threat to the Safety of Journalists. He further stated that the media, democracy and development should be a subject in senior high school and the basic level, so students can comprehend the media space and use it as advocate for development.
The National Communications Authority should not issue license for the establishment of television and radio stations, because it is supposed to be an arm of the executive. So it is clear that they cannot be fair in terms of issuance of TV and radio license. What should we do? That the responsibility should be given to the National Media Commission. And what this means is that the National Media Commission should always be made up of members who have the commitment to ensure high standard of media practice in this country. Media, democracy, and development should be a subject that should be taught at the SHS level as well as the undergrad level. Hopefully, Ghana will begin to have a new generation that will really understand and appreciate the role and contribution of the media, so that we can have citizens who are ready to protect our press freedom. And like I've said, our 1992 Constitution is helpless without press freedom.
Executive Secretary of the National Media Commission, Sarpong, has also stated that journalists should not be prosecuted for breaking the law, but should also not serve their media owners. He continued that journalists should understand the kind of freedom they have and utilize it well.
Our view is that journalism should not be criminalized, and that those who seek either political or economic influence in the media ought to bear responsibility for implementing the gatekeeping measures within their institutions, okay, to secure journalistic standards. And failure to do that, the owners ought to be held responsible. When we put together that legislation, it was rather the journalists who fought for their owners to say that law is bad. Meanwhile, under the Electronic Communications Act, Section 76, there is a reversed situation where responsibility for offensive content is placed on journalists, and a safe harbor is created for the owners. So in essence, what the law says is that when there is offensive content, the owner should be protected, but the journalist should be held liable. Ghanaian journalists love that. When we passed LI 222, that reversed the relationship and says the owner needs to bear responsibility in order to implement the necessary gatekeeping measures. The journalists rose up and said, touch not our masters. We love our enslavement. Check. I really love our society, don't I? As far as we are concerned, we have come to that point where journalists need to understand their freedom. Our freedom means the ability to make choices for ourselves, not our ability to select our masters. Okay. Going forward, it appears to me that all of us need to reflect again and come to the conclusion that until all of us within the industry work together to accept certain democratic principles about media responsibility and media freedom, we are going to encounter these, in my view, applications of the law the way it is. And we ought to address the regulatory issues. Thank you.
Contributing to the topic, legal officer for the Commission of Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Kwaku Kumi, also urged citizens to use the right process to lodge a complaint when they feel defamed by journalists.
There are methods, there are avenues for seeking redress when you feel that you have been defamed. In that case, you resort to civil action. You could go to the National Media Commission. You could write to the media house and arrange and that will be published. I think you can use this avenue. But when it borders on national security, national safety, and those ones defined in Article 135 of the Constitution, then that one is a different issue altogether. But when it comes to individuals, I believe that we should not use imprisonment, because using imprisonment, then it's like we are going back to the days of sedition and criminal libel. It's a repetition of what we have consigned to the dustbin of history long ago. So my personal view is that imprisonment shouldn't be.
Reporting for Authentic Newsroom from GIG's new campus, Jowulu, Isaac Akpa.